Rashep.
Lauren Rashep.
Okay. You need to know. Here's the big joke of the show. I never say anyone's name right. So
But that gives us a chance to say it several times.
and
That's a
I've
good thing.
decided we should put all those together and like run a little
We will. We'll do a blooper
run
reel.
a little blooper of me never getting anybody's name right, including our handsome board operator. I call him Craig. His name is Kurt.
name's Kurt.
And
I'm used to it by now.
I know you're so used to me the way I come flying in here. But on the phone now, we have somebody I find really interesting. I have so many questions for you. Jodi Mattinson. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Wow. Do you know how many people are in this studio clapping for you, Jodi? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I heard. Oh, I'm so flattered.
Anyway, Jodi, why don't we'll give you the honors of introducing yourself. You're a Las Vegas madam, right?
That sounds cool.
That is cool.
Tell us about it. How did you start that? I know it's a big business for you.
Well,
it's
first of
legitimate,
all,
right?
yeah, and you've got a book or
movie.
a movie coming out about your entire story, which is amazing. I started reading about you, and I was riveted. And by the way, Lauren, at any time that you want to chime in, and the handsome Kurt, anytime, just chime in. But we're here because you've got a film that's coming out about you, and you've got a big story to tell. So go ahead. How'd you start? And go at it.
Well, basically, you said Las Vegas, madam. However, I live in Las Vegas, but my businesses are actually in Utah and California. And I started out basically, I was in a very abusive relationship at a young age. I was forced to marry, and I ended up leaving him and didn't have anything. Ended up in a women's shelter, and I had no options other than to use what I did have, which was my looks.
You were Mormon, right? You were Mormon.
Well, look at her picture. We've got her picture up there.
Did I read that right?
Can we see the photo?
Yeah, she is so sexy and gorgeous. It's like, I'm sorry you're in an abusive relationship, but I guess you moved on to do something involving your good looks, right?
And to make money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Money. Excuse me. Go ahead, Jodi.
And I did that for a few years and saved money and then opened my own business, and it's flourished ever since. I mean, I've been in the business now 18 years.
So how did you start? I mean, did you start off as an escort, as a madam, as a dancer? I mean, you said,
I did. Yeah, I did. I started out just as a private entertainer. And then I just, like I said, I saved my money and then I opened my own businesses.
So you were how old then? 14, you said? Or were you older? I'm like, you said
18.
you were in an abusive
barely...
relationship. You were forced to get married at 14? Or what was that? I missed that.
No, I was really young. I was like 18 when I got married, and pretty much my parents just didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. So they thought that this man would take responsibility for me and be a good man and support me, and they wouldn't have to worry about me.
So they married you off? Is that what happened?
Something like that, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm really trying to get the story straight so that I know. So you were living where when this happened? You were in
Utah, and that's where I started my businesses. Is actually in Utah.
Okay, and then
where
you got married.
The Mormons are.
Okay, you got married. Was it to a fellow Mormon person? Was that what happened? And then it was an abusive relationship and you left?
No, he wasn't. He was a regular. He was not part of the church.
Okay.
But that didn't matter to my parents. They just didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore, and they felt like he was a responsible older man. I mean, he was in his mid-20s. I was 18. He had a job. They just didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore because of whatever reason.
Wow, that's harsh.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'll ask you about that later if you talk to them now or not. Or so then you married this person, and then you got out of the marriage after how long?
After about, I'd say a year.
So then you to support yourself, this is what you did. Sounds like you had to get a job and figure out how to take care of yourself at 18.
Well, what I did was at that point in time when I did finally leave, it was during a huge fight between him and somebody else, and I witnessed him seeing some violence that scared me, to even go back home with him. So at that point in time, I just went to the women's shelter. Like, we were downtown, only about 6 blocks away from the women's shelter, so I just walked there and I stayed there.
And they
because
helped
my parents wouldn't allow me to come home.
What's with the parents?
I know. That is such a sad story. Jodi, I will ask you, are you now in touch with your parents?
Yeah, I've forgiven them since. I mean, that was 18 years ago, so we're good now.
Wow, that's a lot of forgiving.
So the women's shelter gave you a place.
It's good that you did that, though.
I know. So they gave you a place to stay. I'm just trying to piece the whole story together, how you got into the madam business, because I wouldn't naturally get into it. So if you can walk us through sort of, your journey into getting into madamhood. I mean, what did you do? It's very intriguing to me, actually.
I pretty much.
Yeah, your next career.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me, honey? I can put this on my earpiece.
Okay, sure, no problem. I mean, really, Lauren, are you intrigued too? This is something. Look, I knew girls when they were younger, and they were quote escorts, and I would say to them, like, "What does that mean? Did you go on a date?" And they would never really answer me. So, I'm as dumb as they come. And okay, go ahead.
Okay, so pretty much what happened was I was at the women's shelter, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I know I didn't have any clean panties on. I had no shoes. Like, I had nothing. And I didn't dare to go home because I was afraid for my life. So at that point in time, I called my parents, asked them, can I please come home? And they said, no, you're grown, you're 18, you're married, you're on your own. So I was just like, and then I happened to be watching Oprah Winfrey, and there were some girls that were escorts on her show. And they were just talking about how much money they made. And I was like, well, I could probably do that, So I looked in the phone book, and sure enough, there was an escort service in there. So I called them, and I went in that day, and I got hired. And then within a couple of days, obviously, I had enough money to get clothes, get my own place almost.
Wow, within a couple of days?
That's
okay. And this
you're
was
a good businesswoman.
This was in Utah that you did this? Is that right?
Yes.
So you were in Utah, and you went on a couple of, what happens in these things, when these dates? Is it just a date? You're accompanying some guy for dinner?
I think it's a little more than that.
You know what? I was under the impression initially, because nobody told me what it entailed. So I was under the impression that it would be like dinner dates with older guys. But, the first call that I went on, the guy wanted me to get naked, and he wanted to be naked, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I was hella uncomfortable. I did not feel right about all that.
Yeah, how do you cross over?
How did you handle that?
What did you do? Yeah, did you strip down? I guess you did, because you needed the money.
Gosh. Well, I really didn't do too much on that one. I let him see my boobs, and I think I gave him a little back rub.
That's funny. So you had to ease into it.
So you eased into...
It's like
he tipped me. I think he tipped me like $100, and then I made like $50 just for going from the agency. So I made $150 in 1 hour, and like I said, that was a lot of money at that time. I was only 18, so I was like, well, I can do this until I get back on my feet again.
Wow.
So I just continued to bite the bullet and just do what I had to do to make money to not be homeless and to be financially okay.
Wow.
To not have to depend on a particular man,
That's actually admirable to me. I mean, to be able to take care of yourself.
It is, but when you say, to not rely on a man in a way, then on the other hand, you kind of did. But I guess, did you feel like
I did relied on several men now?
Yeah, several men, but you're doing it your way. How about that?
Right.
You're in control.
And they weren't beating me up.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
So did they say, like Pretty Woman? You remember that movie?
Yeah.
When she said, I don't kiss the man because you don't want to fall for him. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. But is that true?
There's definitely rules. Yeah, there's definitely rules. I mean, each girl has their own rules, and I definitely wouldn't kiss a client either. It's just too personable,
Yeah, and I bet you get worried, though, for the girls going out. I mean, there's so many crazy people.
I would be absolutely petrified.
Terrified.
There really is. There's a lot of crazies out there, and I make sure that when the girls sign up, that they understand that this job is not completely 100% safe.
Do you have any precautions in place? I mean, what would happen if someone, like, I don't know, tried to attack one of the girls? Is there anything they would do? I guess just call the police, or I don't know. How do you handle that?
I mean, that happens all the time,
Yeah.
and like the other day, there was a girl who had to break out her mace, and in the process, she got maced as well, because the guy didn't want her to leave. He basically gave her a bunch of money, and he wanted sex, and she wouldn't provide that because it was illegal. And he said, well, that's what I was paying you for.
Wow.
And she said, you're actually paying me for my time and companionship. That's an illegal service. I can't do that. So he was trying to get the money back, and in the process, they got into a little tussle. She pulled out her mace and called me, 10 minutes later, crying because she couldn't see anything because the mace had also gotten her eyes.
Oh, that's awful,
So,
Jodi. Where was this? Was this in
It's
California?
awful to be. That was actually in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it is to be on the receiving end of those type of phone calls is the worst because you feel so
nothing you
helpless.
can do.
Like you really can't do much, but send security out there, and by that time, who knows if she's going to even be okay? By the time security drives there.
Right.
Well, I still want to take you back a little bit. So you went on a few dates. You were in Utah, and then how did you jump from that to being a madam in the escort business? I mean, did you then make your way to California or Las Vegas? Like how,
Well,
just sort of tell
happened-
me your story because you were still only 18 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, I met a guy who owned an escort service, and I started working for him. It was not the first company that I worked for. I ended up getting fired from that company because I wasn't accommodating to their clients. Because I wouldn't basically do things with the guys because I was just grossed out, basically. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to do the least amount for the most amount of money.
Wow.
And I ended up getting fired from there. So I went to another service, and the guy was like, he loved my work ethic, and that I really, like to work a lot. And so he said, can you answer my phone during the day? And then if you'd like to, you can take the good calls at night. You can book yourself out to the guys that you would prefer to see at nighttime. And I was like, sure. So I did that, and I ran his company for a couple of years, and I learned a hell of a lot, just about business alone and about the business,
Mm-hmm.
So I was able, that was probably honestly like, I made a lot of money at that time because I was able to pick and choose the clients that I saw.
Like how much?
So
Can
I
you give
think
a
that they
range?
have-
I'm curious.
Oh,
Well, that
I
was-
was making at least 3,000 to 5,000 a day.
Oh my
Day?
Lord.
Look at all of us. We're like,
yeah.
wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
It's been
Wait
very,
a minute.
everything has become clear in my brain now.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's good money.
Do you know how many friends I have who are single moms and they are really having a tough time?
It's
Linda's a
hard.
single mom.
I mean, I don't know how I'm
I
struggling, but
personally, by the way, I have no moral judgment against this at all. In fact,
you have to do what you have to do.
No, but
especially
I mean,
as
I
a mom.
really don't. I actually think, I don't know. I think it should all be legalized anyway. I really do. That's how I feel about it. And I think
I mean, it
it's private
happens when
and-
you go on a date, so you might as well get paid for it.
All right, so you
Yeah,
were
no,
in.
seriously.
All right, so you worked for this guy. I just need to know your story, just because. And then how
I
did
worked
you
for
end?
the guy, and then the guy ended up getting shut down by Vice. One night I was at work, and I thought I was getting a flower delivery, and I opened the door, and it was the Vice cop pretending to be a flower delivery guy, and they had a search warrant.
Oh boy.
And they shut the guy down because we had about 20 girls working for us, and only one of them were licensed. Basically, the gentleman pretty much would just hire anybody. He didn't make them get their credentials, their health tests, their sexually oriented business license, which you need in certain states. And so basically, the Vice cops did, they had the whole office shut down. They took our computers, we couldn't answer the phones. And so at that point in time, I had obviously enough money saved up to do my own thing. And, with his blessing and everything, he was like, do what you got to do, because I'm not in business anymore. So then I put
see.
ads in the Yellow Pages, got my license, and just started recruiting girls.
Wait, got your license for what?
There's a license.
For it's an
to be
actual
legal,
escort,
right?
like an entertainment to do business.
It's like
like-
a work permit type
Like
of
a
thing?
work permit to be an S?
Yeah,
right?
like a business license.
And
Yeah, business license.
is that good in the state of California?
Yeah.
Right, you can be an
And well, this
escort,
is all in Utah.
but this is in Utah, right? But she's right because you live in Vegas and you operate in Utah and in California now, isn't that right? But
Yes.
sex in Utah for money and in California is still illegal. Is that correct?
It is, yeah.
But you call it
so
escort.
I can't, like, if a guy calls the office and says I'd like a blowjob, I can't say, oh great, well Susie is on her way and she's such mean cock.
Okay,
you know?
so then
like,
how
I
does this
can't
go?
do
You
that.
say,
I
I'd
have
like
to
an
say, no,
escort.
that's
Okay,
illegal.
so like Kurt calls in and he goes, "Hi."
Kurt's wife is going to be upset about
Oh,
that.
don't worry. Kurt is about as go ahead, say something, Kurt. I'm sorry.
I'm not
okay.
even going to touch that with
Kurt's,
10 foot
Kurt's
pole.
Okay.
face is all red right
pun
now.
intended.
Bob calls in and Bob wants a service. Bob wants his BJ. So then what do you do? Like he can't ask that way? Like what happens? I need to know. Jody?
Wait, say that again.
Okay,
Yes.
somebody calls in and how do they ask for what they want if it's illegal to get it? Like how do you do this?
I want an escort.
They usually just ask for a girl, and if they ask for illegal services, then you tell them that that's not allowed, and the girls can't provide that service. But that a girl can come out and get naked and do a sensual striptease, a light rub down, and have a very fun time without doing anything illegal. So we definitely have to make sure that we say that girls can't provide that.
But
And
is
then,
it sort of
however, if he does not ask, then we just send the girl, and it's kind of up to her to let him know.
and is
that
it understood though? Right, but is it understood that he wants sex out of it? I mean, does the girl know that going in?
No, not every guy. No, not every guy does want sex. So,
What
I mean, a lot of them, I
percentage
think, do have
Yeah.
sex on the brain when they call. But if the girl can go there and actually conversate with this guy and like get him to open up and be sometimes his counselor for the hour, or get him open to different like fetishes or things he
Therapist.
may,
Sexual therapy.
have in mind other than sex, then
All
then
right.
that's great. Get a good job,
What percentage of the time does the girl, show up and then he's expecting some kind of sexual favor, whatever? And then does he pay extra for that? Like, is it $100 an hour to go to dinner? Like, what do you charge these people?
We charge like $200 for the hour, and then the girls' tips usually range from a couple $200 to a couple $1,000 an hour, depending.
Oh,
Wow, now there's your money,
there's the money.
right? There's your
Tips.
big money. So
You
said-
probably have repeat customers.
So you've been doing this for how long? You became a licensed escort service, and how many years have you been doing this?
Yeah. I think now about like 18 years.
Do you mind if I ask how much money you've made? You think, in all that time?
I mean, millions,
Wow. And what? So let's.
Kurt's like, what the heck, man? I'm sitting here as a board
We're
operator.
slaving away.
He's gonna go home and talk to his wife and say, honey, we need to rethink what we're doing. Poor Kurt. Anyway,
Yes.
he's this adorable young guy, like newly married, and I'm just putting him on the spot. So, all right. So you've been doing this 18 years. You made like millions of dollars. And how many girls do you have working for you? And what's
I'd say probably close to about 80.
80?
Big company.
That is a big
lot of
company.
employees.
And you
And you don't have to worry about medical insurance.
You run a couple of businesses.
I do.
So you know what it's like to run a business.
I do. And you don't pay medical. I mean, this is a good business. It makes sense.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
pay medical? You don't provide
No,
health benefits?
that's all
She
independent.
have to do something. I mean, do you pay for the girls to get tested for anything, or
Do I pay for what?
for the girls, let's say, to get tested once a month or anything like that? Do you
HPV.
provide?
Oh, no, yeah, they have.
vaccinations.
They're required to get tested just to renew their license. They have to get licensed.
So they have to do that on their own.
A background check. They have to do fingerprinting. They can't have like any felonies. They obviously can't have any STDs. They have to get tested. So
It's actually a good business model because you don't have any cost of goods. You don't have to
overhead.
pay medical.
Are you kidding?
No
I would be a
overhead.
nervous wreck. I would wonder if the guy was a lunatic that I was setting up the girl
Well, of
with.
course.
Every
That's the
day
risk.
I'd be so
That's-
stressed out. You
I
know,
mean, that's why you make a lot of money. I mean, that's the big risk. And it's also
yeah, exactly. Like sometimes it's not like great for the soul and on your mind.
Right.
And, I have my dark days where you know what I'm saying. Like everybody's like money doesn't buy happiness.
right.
And,
Well, I wonder
I mean,
how
it's
it is
true.
in your
Like I love being comfortable and stuff, but at the end of the day, like do I have my peace of mind sometimes?
and
you know?
you have a couple kids, and I wonder how it is for you in society.
And
you
what
know,
do your
go to
kids think you do?
school, and
oh my God,
what
yeah.
do the
What do
people
the
say to you?
What do the kids think you do? Right, and what do the parents? What do mom and dad think you do when you're back to school night? It's like, oh, this one over here is a doctor. This one's a teacher, and she's an escort. Do they ever do that or look? Or the dad's really
No,
intrigued?
my kids
or-
know.
Yes.
My kids know what I do, and
That's cool.
I don't
That
know
is
what they
cool.
tell their friends.
It sounds
But
like
their parents don't. I try not to mingle with the kids' parents. My kids' friends' parents. I really try because I don't want to I don't want them in my business.
yeah,
know?
right. But do you think they know? Do they ever look down on you or anything? I just
Kidding. The dads
feel
probably
like-
want to can't
yeah.
wait to back to school
Oh,
night.
I'm
Right.
sure if they did know, they would totally look down on me. Absolutely.
But I
People are
was-
It
so
would be very difficult to
judgmental.
arrange
I have to
play
say
dates.
I respect you because
I
you're
do
very
too.
centered in yourself, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're like, I am who I am. This is what I did. I made a lot of money. I know there's risks involved, and it's scary. So you're an entrepreneur, and you seem very smart.
Jodi, why the movie on you?
you.
There've been there are other madams out there. Why you? Why is someone doing this on Jodi Mattinson?
I think it's because of how it all started. My background, coming from a Mormon family. My dad was a police officer. Just basically
storyline.
really having no options to do anything else at the time because I was in the homeless shelter. And I don't know. I just think it's an interesting story just because of how I was raised. I mean, it's so taboo in Utah. And it's so forbidden, just for the Mormons, which how I was raised. It's a good
So-
story.
Sorry, 1 second. Did you get incarcerated for tax evasion? Did you have to go to jail, or did you get out of that? That's
No, I went to prison for 3 years.
whoa.
What?
That's
I know.
you and
Big case.
Martha Stewart.
Uh-huh.
You probably weren't in the same room. Talk about night and day.
3
I
years.
think I went a little bit. I went a little bit after Martha, and she lived in Danbury, Connecticut. I was
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the Oakland,
Right, but
California area.
what was that like? I mean, I can't imagine that.
You know what? It was awful because it was like something I went for something I didn't do at the
Oh,
time when I was. My ex-husband had the business in his name, and
So it's his fault.
It was his account. It was his accountant. It totally was. I mean, he came home and he was like, "Sign here, sign here, sign here," and I trusted him. I trusted the accountant. He was a client at the service.
Right.
Oh,
I naively signed the tax form that was completely not right, and
Did he get in trouble too?
I got taxed.
Your
He
ex?
did. He actually did 5 years. He got
Okay.
invited for two years of tax evasion. Mine was only 1 year, and it was only because I signed the document.
Yeah.
I mean, all the girls testified that I had nothing to do with paying or just everything. I had a lot of things going for me, but I think it was just because of the nature of the business, and it was in Salt Lake City, Utah, with a Mormon judge.
Right.
Like,
They were trying
wanted
to make a point.
An example out of
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Yeah, they made an example out of me. And as far as going to prison, it was awful. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was to tell my kids, "Hey, mommy's going to prison."
For 3 years.
I don't know
mean,
how
I
you
felt
do
like
it.
such a loser, because
so
they
much for them
see
to
me as
deal
like
with.
a soccer mom.
Right.
How old were your kids at the
They
time?
see me as helping them with their homework and taking them to their sports activities and saying prayers in the morning and before we go to bed, and really doing my thing as a mom. And they just were like, they didn't even know women went to prison. First of all, they said, I thought only guys go to prison, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, but look at you now, Jodi. You got through it. You came out the other side, and hopefully you will show your kids that, and they'll somehow be stronger.
Resilience. That's what it
Resilience
teaches
is
you.
right, because I've just learned, just been going through some of my own things in life, that you just realize that somehow you just keep going and going, no matter what life is throwing at us, and just the resilience. If you come out of it with anything, it's that. So, how old are they now?
13. My daughter is 13, and my son is 10.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably glad you're home.
And
Back
yeah,
normal
Yeah,
life.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's been a transition. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. There was a lot of resistance. They had a lot of questions, and
But I think
it
being
was
honest with
definitely
your
not an easy
kids,
transition.
I think being honest with your kids is smart. I really do, because they're going to find out, and you can tell your story to them.
and especially
So-
through this movie, and we're gonna have to go in a minute because we actually have another businesswoman in our studio, Lauren, and she's actually the founder of something called Lauren Healthy Living. It's a different kind of business, so we'll get to her in a minute. But
Opposite end of the spectrum.
but is your business still growing? I mean, how is it? Is it a healthy business? Is it continuing?
It is, yeah. I just opened another business in Newport, California, which is about, a
Orange
little ways
County.
away from my other one, and it's really busy.
Where's your other one?
Newport Beach.
Those Orange County men.
It's in Palm Springs, California.
Palm Springs. Oh, okay.
In the desert.
What did you think? One more question before you go. Ashley Madison story.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of that?
Those
just
guys
sort
already.
of-
They ought to just call her. They ought to just call
They
her.
should just call you. That's the website that there was a hacking and all their information came out. They're better to go through you. No, it's not going to get hacked and their information will stay private.
Oh, yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Can I ask, the women that work for you, are they all single? There also some single moms. What kind of people do you have that work for you?
Yeah, most of them are single. A couple of them have boyfriends or husbands even. And their husbands and boyfriends are totally okay with this because they're getting a lot of money in the process as well, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Fascinating
Very
story.
fascinating.
Wonderful.
Very
So
interesting.
the film that's being made about you, tell me a little bit about that. Who's
playing
producing
you?
it and who's playing you? Why,
I think
Lauren?
you're playing you.
You're
aren't
playing yourself, right?
Yeah, it's a documentary. It's
Oh.
called A Madam's Heaven and Hell.
Okay.
And is it out? I mean, where do people see it?
It is, yes. You can see it on Vimeo.
Okay.
You can go to amadamsheavenandhell.com and buy it and view the trailer.
Great.
I think that is so exciting. When are you out here? I'd actually love to meet her. I'd love to have you come in the studio. Would you do that with us sometime? We're here in
I would
Hollywood.
love that. You guys are,
We're here in Hollywood.
sorry, in where?
In Hollywood.
Yeah, I was trying to come this week and see you guys, but I would need just a couple weeks advance notice is all.
You know what? When you come into Hollywood, please get in touch with our producer because we'll have you back. I would love to talk to you in studio because this would be even more enticing, if you will, to have you in here.
That's awesome.
And besides,
I would love
Kurt
to.
is really curious. I know he's sitting here and he just like so needs to know.
Everyone
Would you
is.
do that, Jodi? So thank you for coming on. And how about if we touch base with you in a couple weeks? And her film is
How to-
A Madam's Heaven and Hell.
Madam's Heaven and Hell on Vimeo, right?
Mhm.
And anywhere else,
or your website.
or
the
your website.
Yes, the website is amadamsheavenandhell.com.
Thank you, Jodi. So we'll talk to you again.
you.
Hopefully, we'll see you in a
Thank you
couple
so
weeks.
much,
And
hon.
thank you for being
Okay.
here. Okay, thanks.
Good one. Thanks so much. Bye.
What a sweet woman. I mean, Lauren. You know, when you talk to her, and this is Lauren. I still won't say your name right.
That's okay, Lauren Rashup.
I mean, honestly, my last name, my husband's last
I
name,
can't pronounce your name.
is Kobylt.
I know.
Nobody can get it right. I don't blame them. My name is Zara. Nobody could ever get that right either. So we're all in
I
good
call
company.
you Deborah Zara.
Better. That's more my work name anyway.
that.
And yours is easy. How can you mess up Huffman or Hayes?
Well, my maiden name was Huffman, but everyone said Hoffman. So that was
I
always
know
mixed
people
up.
need to get it together. But anyway,
Whatever.
so Lauren, with founder of Lauren Healthy Living.
Lauren Living Healthy.
Lauren, right, that too.
That
So,
too.
you know, Lauren Living Healthy. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
People need to correct me because they need to going in that they have to do that. But as a businesswoman, when you hear her talking, I mean, she started out so tough and felt so desperate and did what she had to do, which, again, I pass no judgment on.
I don't either.
I really don't
No.
because it's these people who are looking for a service and she's providing it and so are her
Absolutely.
workers. And now you're here to provide a service. Look what she brought in studio. Oh my gosh.
Well, look at her skin, first of all. It's
she's
so beautiful.
Oh, gosh, thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
You're
She's
so
a friend of mine, and we
Friend of
got
a
to know
friend.
each other. We went to lunch, and we've talked a little bit about her business. And why don't you explain a little bit? Because I really find it interesting what you do. It's amazing.
Okay. Can I move this so I can see your face?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I don't think the
guess.
base.
There
Okay,
you
there
go.
you go.
There, because I couldn't see you. Hi.
I
how
hope
are
she's going
you?
to say all things good. So
All things good. Boy, I'm just still processing what we just heard.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, because we
Different world,
a
right?
Totally different world. I'm talking about living healthy and in her from her perspective, this is how she's making a healthy living.
Right.
I'm not making nearly the living she's making.
It's
with
scary.
My little skincare line
Yeah.
and my consulting business, but yeah, very scary. But I admire any woman who is out there in the workforce, particularly coming from that place, because I didn't come from that place.
Right.
you
right.
did not.
We
I know
had
you did
support
not.
in
Come
our
from that
lives.
place.
So
And yes, we've had
She did it.
support. None.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
So
I didn't have lots and lots of support. I was a little bit self-made, I think, but
Yes.
I just had to find my way. But certainly not what she had.
But not this.
No,
I mean, you didn't
not
have,
even
you didn't have your
remotely.
parents say, you can't come back. You're on your own.
Not even remotely.
Yeah,
They would
remotely.
just say, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But like, why don't you want to? I don't understand. Like, why don't you want to
Yeah.
be a secretary? Huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to be a bookkeeper. So thank you. But it was that more of that kind of thing. They just didn't get the modern world really. But tell me what
Yes.
you've got over here.
So I just brought you a little sampling of my things. I mean, the timing of this is actually very fortuitous. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
My book is launching. Can I hold my book up?
Yes, please do.
So I think
beautiful.
your eyes are the first eyes on the book because
All
we just
right.
got back from the printer.
Lift it up nicely.
So,
There we go.
This is a book that is truly a labor of love. I have been working on it way too long.
Oh, what a beautiful
fact-
cover.
Thank you. And, you know, it's called Vibrant Skin at Any Age. And we talked a little bit, Linda and I talked a little bit before the show started. And we're just talking about this whole notion of women as we age, what can we do in addition to everything else we do? And what we're finding and what research is even finally agreeing with and determining through great studies that are being done all over the country is that food is one of the biggest components in healthy skin. It's what you eat. So I made it my mission about 6 years ago. I started doing these cleanses. I've been a private nutritionist for 18 years, just like our friend, 18 years in business.
Started at the same
yes,
time.
we started
Think
at the
about
same
that.
time.
You're one end of the spectrum
yes,
to the other.
Yes, and I ended up going back to school because I had the means to go back to school.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I didn't have to go
Right. Work on
the street. So I feel blessed.
Right.
So at any rate, I just started doing a lot of research on food as it relates to skin because I had a very, very, very severe skin burn when I was young. Second
From the
degree-
sun?
Yes, yes.
Well, you're so fair.
Yeah, so fair. And I remember the dermatologist saying to me, you know what? You're looking at a facelift by the time you're 40. You're looking at skin pills. You're looking at
Who
grafting.
says that to a kid?
Oh, stupid dermatologists will say
Yeah,
that to
what
you.
an
I was pretty
idiot.
severely burned. Growing up in Minnesota, we used to do the bed. Did you guys do those beds? The aluminum beds
Oh.
with the baby oil.
We did that with foil.
Oh, yeah, the
on
foil.
I
elbow
cannot
cover.
believe I'm not filled with wrinkles. I
Ellen,
don't really
You-
have.
well, you have
any-
Italian skin.
I've got Italian skin.
We
Thank
hate you.
So do
God.
I, but I
Yes.
ended up with skin cancer.
You
So,
did? You
yeah,
got
and
cancer?
I have the olive skin, and,
And
I literally used to say, I have olive skin. I'll never get skin cancer. I said that probably 10 times.
Oh, my sister used to do that. I would watch
Yes.
her in the yard. Like her whole body
Yeah.
was on top of the aluminum foil.
We'd
It
have
just
the
looked
album
kind
covers
of.
with
I
the
didn't have
photo.
the.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. I was too active to just
well,
like lay
that was
there.
smart.
But, yeah.
I was active, but not active enough.
Yeah.
Because I was laying there,
Wow.
frying to death. And when you only have, growing up in the Midwest,
Yeah, I did too.
We
So-
have like this very truncated little
So
summer.
we're outside that
And you
whole
wanted
time.
your
Oh, honey,
tan.
we're
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
We
And-
are out there.
Yeah.
So the only saving grace is my mother putting zinc oxide all over my face and putting a towel over my face or putting a hat over my face. So the face is preserved a little bit more than the body. So at any rate, when I got into the world of nutrition, I do a lot of family practice work. But I started really getting into the research end of it. I'm really fascinated by how food actually feeds different mechanisms in the body. And with regard to the skin, they have found in the world of, it's called nutricosmetics. It's the combination of skin, pseuticals, or nutrients and food and what they do together synergistically to change the various layers of the skin. So I kind of set out on this path of looking for those foods and then putting them into recipes and trying them out. So that I tried about, that was in 2008, and I started doing cleanses out of my house. I shouldn't say that, my husband will kill me, but who is this going to be here?
That's okay.
No one knows.
So, you know, I still do them. I still do custom cleanses out of the house where someone will come in and I'll do a consult on the skin and what their diet is and what the issues are. And then I'll formulate those recipes and actually make those recipes and deliver them to the doorstep.
Oh.
And that's been going on for a long time.
You
so
know, I live right near you. You
I
can deliver anything you want to
know.
my doorstep.
I know,
so.
okay. So I at the urging of like several of my clients, they said, you know, to do this all the time with you is expensive. We get the recipes? Can you put them in a book? Can you let us know why we're doing it? People want to know why now. There was a time when just give it to me, I don't care.
Yeah.
People want to know why and what.
Or the benefit.
What
Like
is
if
the
I put-
benefit?
So what are you telling
Yes,
people?
what is the benefit?
So would
What's
you tell,
unique about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you tell Linda to eat something, put something
Different?
different in her body than you would put in mine, or
Possibly.
you because you're fairer, for example?
Yeah.
What do you look at then?
Possibly.
Let's say you're
So-
consulting.
Right.
Us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I take first a full intake, a health intake. So what's in that health intake is blood work that you bring from your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm a clinical nutritionist. So I can't do blood work, but I analyze blood work. And then I will look at your daily diet and what you're missing.
Oh, mine's all over the place. I'm a picker. What do you say
You're
to
a
a picker?
A picker?
I mean, really a picker. Like a hard-boiled egg at 7,
Here.
9 o'clock. I'll grab some peanut
Peanut
butter.
butter.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm.
kind of do that too.
Oh, it's terrible. I grew up as a picker.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're picking at the right things, that's the key. I mean, if you don't want to change that habitual pattern and eat your 3 meals plus too many snacks is what, every nutritionist out there is spouting out about, is that 3-2. As long as you're making the choices that are right for your body throughout the day and you know what you need when you need it. And so that's my mission, is to tell people why they need to do it. Because
Right.
otherwise there's no compliance. When I was doing dietary plans, people would take the plan, walk out my door, 2 weeks later, 0.
Yeah.
So then I started going into their home, buying the food, making the food, restocking the fridge, doing like a really full service job. And I did that for 6 years. And hiring chefs for people. I mean, the whole
But
the
your
whole
big
gamut.
thing, and now let's. I always like to bring it back to people
Yes.
who can't hire a chef, can't
Yes.
do any of that
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
So your big thing is processed foods, and I agree with this. I still eat it, but
Yeah.
I agree. If your food's going through a machine and it's coming out in a plastic bag, it's
It can't
probably
be
not
that
so
good.
good for you, right?
Can't be that good.
I
Can't be that-
believe if it comes out of God's garden, it can't be that bad,
And it
even
can't
if
be
it's a
that bad.
carbo-y thing like a corn or a
Absolutely.
or a banana, right?
I agree.
It just can't be. Now, corn syrup is one thing, but corn on the cob is a whole different. Do you agree?
Right, because it's not processed.
Right.
Right.
So, how do people avoid that, especially in this day and age when people are just grabbing?
Yes,
anything?
it's unfortunate. The processed food market is one of the biggest markets, in the world. I mean, it's the problem with processed food is that it's creating an epidemic that we've never seen before, with heart disease, obesity, cancers.
Yeah.
I mean, people's immune systems are getting shut down because our bodies don't recognize those foods, because genetically we aren't predispositioned to eat them.
No, we can't process
We
them
can't.
right.
We can't process, and our livers are getting overloaded and toxic, and then we're
It's
starting to
scary.
all get sick, and autoimmune disease is
Well,
on the rise.
I'll tell you, I was heavier after my third kid, a lot heavier, and I stayed that way. And was it triglycerides, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what
Yeah.
determines like your liver? I actually had fatty liver disease because I was so big. I do not anymore. And I just lost the weight sort of on my own because I started walking. I think I was telling you, and
Yes.
tried to just eat less, but I never really did anything. But you're right. If I stayed that way, who knows what would have happened? I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm way too young to have fatty
Yeah.
liver disease.
Yes.
It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
Even hearing about it made me feel kind of
Right.
gross. It's like,
Yeah.
ew, it's not who
Right.
I am.
Right.
But so you've got skincare products.
I did. I brought some treats for you guys. So
as well. I mean, but this is in addition to,
Yes.
or
Eating-
the whole program is together.
It's a whole
or-
program.
Okay.
It's a whole program. So in the book, I also divulged some of because these are proprietary blends. So just a little bit about the skincare. So everything that you see here is food based.
Okay.
If you eat it, you're okay.
Ah.
So you can eat your skin products.
You can eat. I call it edible.
See, that's
edible
something
skincare.
for me because
Yeah.
I would be putting it on.
Well,
and,
then, can I tell you something? I want you to try this then, because this
It's
is
gotta taste good.
This is the raw organic sugar scrub.
Ooh, that's I like
Yeah.
the name of that.
So this one is called exfoliate. So let's take some and put them on our hands
Oh,
and our
come on, come
forearms.
on.
Pass them down.
does she get one too?
Can I walk? Can I get up and walk? Or should I
Yeah,
just
get-
sit?
well, you have
whatever,
headphones
just-
on, so you don't want to
Okay.
get thrown back down.
pass it over.
So-
So start with this.
Does
This
she have
has
one? Is
sugar,
that her?
real
Yeah.
sugar?
Can
It
I taste it
yes.
first?
So this is the only time you can ingest sugar when it's on your skin.
Okay, see, this
okay.
is me. I will
So
eat.
sugar's
That's
bad
okay.
to eat. You can't.
Sugar's bad to eat.
bad.
Sugar's
Unless
bad
it's
to eat.
natural sugar.
You know,
like just
but I'll tell you
Ooh.
something. Sugar is the number
This
one
is
cause
nice.
of accelerated disease and aging. So you do have to limit your sugar. I say to 28
this.
grams of
Smells like
sugar a
coconut.
day. Yes, it's.
Is there coconut in
Yes,
it?
it's raw coconut oil.
This is so exciting.
So I source all the ingredients myself, and everything is 100% organic, and all my products are 99% raw.
Because I don't have my glasses on, what
Yes.
do you use this for? Is it
So
lotion?
this now,
Like,
so
do you-
no.
it's exfoliating. She
oh, okay.
said.
So this
your face, though,
no,
right?
this one is not. This one's for the body.
Okay.
'Cause this
We're
is
both
sugar.
wrong.
See?
except if I were to look at let's say,
So I'm gonna smell like a
Deborah,
coconut later.
Deborah, your skin is very hardy. When I look at your skin, can I give you a skin analysis?
Yeah.
You have really hardy, thick skin. Italians typically do. Even though you're Jewish, though. And
No, I'm not Jewish.
Oh, you're
She's
not
Italian.
Jewish.
Also.
Italian.
All right, so keep going.
So keep going. That's about her. What about me? And so your skin is hardy and thick. I think that I think your skin can stand the strength of the sugar. Sugar is a natural. Do you know what an AHA is? Alpha hydroxy acid. Sugar is a natural AHA. So why buy it when it's right there?
This smells so good. Wish
Isn't
we
it
had
yummy?
smell
What about
vision.
you? Because you're
Isn't it
not
yummy?
as dark as that. You're not all Italian, are you?
See, I wouldn't. So
I'm Dutch.
but
too.
I wouldn't put this on you. This would
This
go
would
on
be
you.
too heavy.
Give
for
it.
me.
Then
Yeah,
this
give
is
it
for
back.
me.
Give it back. Give it back.
All
So
right.
for you, my darling, I would have
Ah.
this. So pass that along. But you
So
can.
this is
Let me at least
lighter.
smell hers.
You will
whatever
love this too.
This
so
is lighter.
this is the product called Renew, and this is for older skin.
Thank you. Hello.
Sorry, whoa.
There you go.
No.
She's laughing.
No. And fine skin that's a little bit more
Older skin and fine
transparent.
skin. Well, then I don't need
And-
this. It's not
excuse me,
fine and not
anyone
old.
who's had
Nice.
any tendency toward any skin cancers,
Yeah, that's me.
Oh.
because you know what's in it. Just tell me if you can guess. Take it.
Clay.
Eat. What do you smell in there?
Is there almond? Almond?
Yes.
Almond.
Oh, yeah, you.
What
Oh,
else?
5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So those are white organic. It's filled with omega 3s. It's
Okay.
chia seeds,
Oh.
and
here, this is
it's
me for
in
you.
I like this.
This is for
a
old
raw
old
coconut
people.
base with
Oh, coconut.
organic rose oil, which is very
Oh, I like
nurturing
that.
and healing for the skin.
Nice.
So yours is a little bit. So do you like
Mine's
the
for
sugar?
young people.
Okay, yours is for
Hers
young
is
people.
for old
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Okay, so now can I continue real quick? And I know if I'm. So this is the hydrate. So this is your moisturizer. People put way too much thick shit on
And
their
it,
face.
and
Can I
it
say
clogs
shit?
your pores.
You can say shit as much as you
Oh,
want.
good.
Let
thank
me
you.
have some of that
and
shit.
it clogs your pores. It's
Over here.
Clogs your pores
Wait,
with
is
the
this
thick
for me or
shit.
her?
So which one is that? Which one is that?
Hydrate.
Yes, that's the hydrate. This for both of you.
So I'm allowed to use it as an older
Can I like
woman.
spray it on? Can
Yes,
the old
spray
people
it.
use it? Like
Spray it all over your face. Spray it all over your face. Pass one to Linda.
Can I spray it on her face? I just
that's
don't want
How
to.
about my arms since I have makeup on?
Yeah.
Might not
No,
feel
you
it.
put it right over
All
your
your
makeup. It
makeup.
sets your makeup.
Wow. That's cool.
Feel your skin.
Oh, wait.
Do you feel there's
Oh yeah, yeah.
You didn't put it on your face.
so there's sweet almond oil in that one.
so good.
Put it
I
all over your
love this.
face.
Kurt, you're
I
loving
love
this, aren't
this.
you?
Kurt, we got to
He's
give something to
smart.
Kurt. Kurt's gonna like
needs
the other
something.
one. Kurt's gonna like the other one because it's more manly.
Am I all shiny now?
Oh, you look
Yes,
very glossy.
you look
actually
great. Do I look
fabulous.
You look very dewy.
And so you
And
you
young.
you
All
right, hang on.
spray it a couple times a day whenever you feel dry. I carry it with me all the time and I spray.
Oh my god.
And sometimes
this
I'll
is awesome.
and it also I put it in my hair because your hair doesn't do that, but my
No,
hair's
my
thick
hair
and it
gets
gets
all
dry.
dried out and
I do it
curly
all
and-
over my
Oh, mine
hair
gets dry.
and I scrunch it up.
Kurt,
and
why are you laughing? You
Kurt thinks
really.
we're-
You
yeah,
know
Kurt
what?
thinks we're
My
crazy.
daughter loves stuff like this. Her 13-year-old group. You have a daughter around.
Yes.
This is like she would go bonkers. I don't know the cost.
Yeah,
It might
yeah.
be too much for them.
Yeah.
but
I
it's-
have to know what's so funny. I think this poor guy gets such a kick out of us.
Yeah,
What?
he's like, oh God, these women are so crazy.
I'm
So
just-
Kurt, this one's for you. Kurt,
Okay.
Kurt, this
Yes.
one's for you. So this one is called Refresh. Now
He's
this
so
one,
adorable. I
he is
swear
cute.
to God.
He really is adorable. I know. I felt sorry for him. So this one is called Refresh. So this is my more kind of manly thing. This one has 16 different essential oils that also are great in the powder bathroom, in a kitchen after you clean it. It
Smells
is
good.
I'm going to spread all
This
over
is
the
a
room.
kitchen cleanser and a Kurt thing.
Smell, Kurt.
Ooh.
Let me
really
try
good.
this. Let me.
Spray it over here. I
We
love
need a
it.
camera on
Spray.
you, Kurt, because you're like part of the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going to
Kurt,
start
we-
putting
we-
him on.
It's
Spray
for
it,
the-
spray
smells
it,
like
baby.
Rosemary.
No, it's
Oh, I love it.
isn't that yummy? So it's
Yeah.
it's
Very-
one of the
it's
ingredients.
very
Rosemary,
clean.
Oh, do you have
clove.
another- do you have another?
Yes, this is all for you.
Oh, but we have to send him
I
someone
know.
with something.
Well, this
Don't
is
you
for-
want
yeah,
to
he'll
spray
take
yourself
one.
with
The
something?
clove, I really smell that.
Do you smell the clove?
Nice.
So all what's
give it
in
to my
here?
wife.
Yes,
Yeah.
give it to your wife. These are natural. It's a
crazy.
natural antibiotic and a natural disinfectant, but it's safe enough to spray on your skin. When I start to get a sore throat, guess what I do? I open my mouth and go like that.
Right it with
With
this?
this?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Wow,
Clove.
so she does everything.
Yeah.
She puts it in the bathroom after you've taken a you know what,
Yeah.
and she puts it on Kurt's face.
And in my mouth at the same
puts it
time.
in her mouth. I don't
it's a
know.
little-
What can you buy for
Listen,
that?
I had a
mean,
tough act to follow. What
Yeah.
can I say? To put
More-
something in my
Well, I
mouth.
think
all
you did
purpose
it.
shit is what I have to say. So that's pretty cool. All right, what else
Yes.
you have over there?
Yes.
Actually, your call girls might like it.
yeah, exactly.
Or I should say escorts. That
the
wasn't
the
very nice of
escorts.
me.
Okay, so you
Yeah, I
have,
really support them. I have to say,
I know.
I handed it
I
1
know.
minute.
I-
1 minute.
Okay.
Too fun.
Oh my God,
so-
she's got to come back. You better come back.
Anyway, these are these are the base. So there's 5 products. These are just I brought because I didn't know how many people.
Extras?
Yes,
Oh,
would be here,
okay.
and I'll
Where,
leave
where,
them for
do,
you.
where do
Talk
people
to this
buy the
thing.
From me,
product?
they can just go on my website or email me directly, Lauren at laurenlivinghealthy.com.
Lauren at Lauren Living Healthy.
Yes.
Can we put that up
and
there?
my
Do we
book
have
is
it?
now available for sale on the website.
How much
and
is
there's
it?
a book launch.
There
you
we
know
have
what?
it up
We're
there.
still trying to figure
that
that
out.
out.
So they'll
I
find
know.
coming soon.
I don't know how much. I don't know.
So when I'll take a look and I'll let you
Yes,
know. So I'm
we
good
do
at
know-
that.
you're
And
good at
she's
that?
terrific.
Are
This one's
you?
a smart business lady.
Okay, I need your advice.
Yeah.
I need your business advice.
I
We'll
like
go
your
in the
product.
green room after
Love
this.
your
So
product.
you've got the book that people can purchase on your
Yes.
website at Lauren.
Lauren at Lauren Living Healthy.
Okay,
Yes.
Lauren at
LaurenLivingHealthy.com.
LaurenLivingHealthy.com. They can purchase the products.
Yes.
They
and
can
learn what to eat with them.
learn
Yes.
what to eat with
Yes.
them. That's right.
It's kind of a nice thing.
So really quickly, I've taken this program virtual.
Yeah.
And so I'm Skyping with people all over the place. So I can
Oh, you can
look at
Skype.
Yes.
Oh,
I
I
can
love it.
analyze
You can
diet, I can
analyze
analyze
their
blood work, I can
skin.
see their face, I can formulate the products.
Oh, that's great.
I have over 50 or 60 different essential oils for different kinds of skin issues.
Wow, that's
my
I
business.
really need your
Aromatherapy.
help, and I know we have to go, but I'll talk to you about
Entrepreneur.
it. Like I have a little breakout here that I can't get rid of. So stuff like that,
Okay.
I guess you would analyze.
Yes.
Let's say I'm across the country.
Yes.
You would take a look at me and say, this is what you need,
Yes,
right?
I have an oil I have a product for that.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Lauren, you've got to come back.
I'd love to come
I
back.
really mean it. This was
I'd love to come back. It
so
was fun.
fun. You were amazing.
Oh,
You're
thank
a
you.
wealth of knowledge. I actually need to talk to you more, and I want you to come back to talk to us more about eating.
Okay.
Because to
Yeah,
me,
we have to
that's
do
the
that
hard
other
part.
side of it.
Yes.
Right, right.
People
Yeah, we
talk a
didn't-
good game, but
yeah.
then they go home
Shop
and they
on the outside of the grocery
Yes,
store.
yeah. That's a simple way to do it.
Oh,
In the 50
smart.
10
Yeah.
seconds we have left.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all we can say. We'll come back and get more
Okay,
details.
perfect.
Lauren, thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
being
having
here.
me.
Kurt, thanks for being a good
Thanks,
sport.
Kurt.
I'm sorry I kind
went over
of threw you
time.
under the bus.
It's all right.
And this was fun. So everybody,
Another
thanks for
fun
tuning in to Shut Up, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.